just told you to nick a van, Eddie, not a van full of boxes.
I didn't know, Turtle, honest.
Here is a newsflash. In tonight's bank robbery, police have confirmed the theft of safety deposit boxes whose contents are thought to be worth close to £1 million. All those concerned have been arrested, but the whereabouts of the boxes remains a mystery.
Funny old box, that last one, Turtle. 9.5 down, these checks, and a briefcase with just a folder in it.
Containing a lot of sums and some bits of perforated paper. Might be the formula for a new detergent. You could sell it for a fortune.
Don't smell right, Turtle.
That's just the full ashtrays in this Hackney, Eddie. That's just the tip. You wait for us and we pay you what's on the clock.
We're cheaper to buy our own taxi. And a driver.
We thought, Eddie. Second-hand, of course. We don't look flash. Second-hand driver might be difficult. Nice sort of area, this. Desirable.
That's to be they can write checks for 8 grand.
Mr. Brayford,
Yes?
it's about a cheque.
You better come in.
Tasteful.
Don't sit down. You know I can't afford to have the furniture cleaned. And I told Cranley what would happen if he sent gangsters round here again.
It's a very large-sized type shooter, Mr. Brayford. It's giving me palpitations.
My fault, Turtle. I should have sussed it out.
Alphabetical order was my idea. We're not gangsters. Will this help?
If it stops the rest of the collection method. Dead rats on the doorstep.
It's not like milk bottles. Unwashed. See what I mean?
Or my daughter being clipped by a motorbike on her way to school.
Hope she's better now.
It'll take time. Who are you?
We're executives with a security organisation. And, selection of uncashed cheques came into our possession.
All from compulsive gamblers trying to get out of trouble, eh? Stretching their credit to the next roll of the dice, the next spin of the wheel. And the checks bounce and get turned over to a collecting house at a discount.
What's that?
I know bits. Tell us anyway.
Oh, come on. Gambling debts aren't recoverable in law. Under the Gaming Act. Nothing a casino can do when a punter like me writes a cheque he can't cover.
Or won't.
Sometimes I couldn't. My cheque for 8,000 was sold to Cranley for 4. Anything he can collect on top is profit. He wanted 7. Sell the car, he says. I did. Raise a second mortgage on your house, he says. There's already one. See your bank manager, he says. I cashed in some insurances and came up with 4.5. He wants the rest. Oh, he'll take instalments. I missed a couple of payments, and that's when visitors like you started arriving.
I thought Cranley just ran a casino. To Buckingham Palace to go discount collecting.
Sounds unsavoury.
He is.
And he's lilac time next to Jack the Snake.
Who's he?
Persuader for Cranley. Uses wheels for muscle. He'd be riding a motorbike to knock down kids. And enjoying it. Same with a shiv he uses. For fun. Once he touched dead rats, you'd have to disinfect them.
Anyway, you check with the CRO and then let me know the result, will you? Hello, Harry.
Yeah?
How's the gaming squad? They're still looking for the 5 aces?
The casinos don't need them. The percentage is always in favour of the house. Now, I'm looking for one of your safe deposit boxes.
You don't tell me, let me guess. Cranley? And he's appointed you as personal envoy to pester me instead of telephoning twice a day.
What's he say's in the box?
Oh, just some records he needs to complete his VAT returns. You understand, Superintendent, how careful people in my line of business have to be with their official bookkeeping.
His usual vicarage approach.
Yeah. Get us a couple of coffees, will you?
Oh, thanks.
What's he done? Murdered somebody?
You should get a crystal ball and a tent on Brighton Pier, Joe. Tell fortunes.
Yeah. Those big earrings don't suit me.
About a month ago, an elderly professor of mathematics named Crichton was knocked down by a motorcycle at 2 in the morning and killed. The last note in his engagement book read Cranley's 10 o'clock. Nobody there admits seeing it.
Yeah, and we all know how short-sighted croupiers can be.
The professor's briefcase was missing, and his widow says he's never been near a casino in his life.
Well, I'm sorry this is all I've got to offer you. My wife won it at a tombola.
Homemade elderberry wine. This is Berkhamshaw. It's probably where that geezer in Star Trek got his recipe for pointed ears. What do we do with these?
Leave them with me. I'll photocopy them. Most have got addresses on the back, so the originals can be sent to the punters who wrote them.
For money?
No. I'm with Gamblers Anonymous. Oh, and I sweat. But I'm as cured as I'm ever likely to be.
No use to us, Eddie. Much obliged, Mr. Brayford. Our own clerical staff isn't of the highest caliber. Do you remember when George was writing to Aunt Ethel from a proof school? Postman had to get glasses.
All rims. Didn't fit him.
Yeah, get falling over in the robin. What do you do with the photocopies?
Think about it.
Keeping us out of it.
We've got an annual general meeting tomorrow.
And I've got a 6-year-old daughter who hides under the stairs whenever she hears a motorbike engine. Like a kitten in a thunderstorm.
Quiet last night, Obelisk.
A new place just opened in Knightsbridge. Perhaps our speculators prefer to lose their money where they can read about it in the glossy magazines. I'll have a word with Jennifer.
Good.
No two ways about it, Jake. I want you out there, rattling your little collecting box to good effect.
Mr. Cranley, it's a two-handed job. I need a set of hard and stupid shoulders to back me when I tap on the front door. And that means the Obelisk. And he doesn't like that sort of work.
Then we'll have to find someone who shares your enjoyment. We've had a bad run lately.
Yeah, starting with lucky professors.
And I've got a chartered plane note from Vegas arriving next week. And all those honey Charlie, Comey, Hiram punters like to see their bets against a scenic background of cash money. It's ostentatious, but true.
What's the cover this time?
They're all Episcopalians, passionately interested in brass rubbing. As indeed I am. And the gaming board can peer approvingly through its rose-tinted specs. It's money, Jake. Get the Obelisk up here, will you?
Bridget, you must deal the cards much quicker. There's too much time between...
Boss wants you.
You mean he requires my presence? But who am I to repair your revolting syntax? It's your language.
I tried to make an appointment from the telephone in the street. There was rather a mumble, and then when I came up here, I'm only in town for 2 days, there was this young chap rummaging through the briefcase there. When I told him who I was, he just ran. Probably some petty thief.
More than probably. And Petty's right. He's an unfortunate we employ to polish away his paper baskets.
Oh, Simon Manning, by the way. A Major, Army Intelligence. Not that that means much. We're all pretty thick. Now, I'd like to engage your firm's services.
Certainly, Major. Sit down.
Ah, thank you.
kill that George, I'll kill him, and then I'll mount him under glass as an example to the next receptionist.
My poor Georgie. So you ran all the way home?
Had to. You never know when there's a strike on. No buses.
You did the right thing. When in doubt, take to your heels. Your father did, even when I told him I only thought I was expecting you.
Major, he said. Great big fella. Scar. Looked like a bullet hole in his neck.
And an expert in unarmed combat. He would have fractured every one of your vertebrae. Get your breath back. I'll make you a nice hot drink.
I'm not a real soldier, of course, apart from the basic training about killing people. I run some of the Army's computers. I must say your lot must be pretty high-powered if you're handling Crichton's private printouts.
Crichton?
Well, he's the best computer man in the business. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to pry, but the young chap did drop them, and they have to be Crichton's. I went to his funeral.
Funeral?
Some thug on a motorbike knocked him down and killed him.
Oh, of course. Yeah, motorbike.
I'm sorry, I'm not used to your wall of professional discretion. Mine is just a minor job, really. I can't afford to pay you very much.
So we give estimates.
It's about a safe deposit box.
Not a divorce. And we've been a bit short lately on divorces.
No, I'm not married. I was engaged once, but she ran off with some Greek who had an island.
That's probably the climate.
Who put you onto us?
David Reething. He used to be with our intelligence shower. You helped him with the General's will, when the police were about as much use as a walking stick in a shipwreck. Colour Sergeant Arnold told me where to find you. He gave you a very good name. He recommended you as go-betweens.
Oh, intermediaries. Yes, and it's depending on the circumstances.
Well, I realise that, but if Superintendent Rafferty has gone off into some sort of patient Confucian trance, I need you. What I want is very important to me.
Our motto is service.
I used to hold Box 92. It's my father's. There's some very good Georgian silver in it. A dozen match tumbler cruets, sugar sifters, wine coasters, worth about 11,000. More if it's sold in Germany or America. Now, I'm not interested in those. I want the two items in the box that aren't worth anything.
It's an interesting case, Mr. Malone.
Read Sherlock Holmes as well.
How are these Herberts with your box? I mean, if we can find them. Know that two items aren't worth anything.
They'll know.
Sorry, Mr. Cranley. Collecting is not my line of work.
You're a hooligan, they don't have scruples.
This one does. Perhaps his knees have got a touch of a jelly. I've taken guns from Arab bodyguards, removed hard men from the side of Chicago capos, put protection mobs in hospital.
Yes. The impeccable casino supervisor.
So there's nothing wrong with my knees.
You used them fast enough when Russian tanks were after you and hungry.
After 5 days fighting them with stones, aged 13, I'm still not the animal you are, terrorizing compulsives, children and old men, from the safety of a motorcycle.
Let's stop this playground squabbling, shall we? Now, I need heavy cash and backup muscle for Jake to collect it. Who would you say was the best, Obelisk?
Shovel, but he works for Benny D-Day.
Then you.
Thank you.
Who else?
He's freelance. Razor Eddie Malone.
Huh. Wages plus bonus plus goodbye, Obelisk. You can pick it up when you found Razor Eddie and told him that I'm offering him your job.
I'd still like some indication of your organization's fee.
Yes, well, I was reading in the papers the other day that iniquitous taxation has forced the professional classes into a barter system.
Oh, I read that. Where some farmer with mumps paid his doctor in turkeys.
Cheap at the press.
Now, we don't know what this stuff in the folder means, do you?
No. But I could push it into Agnes's ear and she'd tell us.
Won't it be painful?
Agnes is the big computer. It could still be a night's work.
That's our fee.
You're on. And I'll do my best. Just the 2 items, and I want them badly. I'll be in touch.
An officer and a gentleman. Now, that's the sort of trade we want, Eddie. It's the civil approach.
Which we're not likely to get from Jake the Snake. Or Cranley, if that folder's worth anything.
Oh, leave off, Eddie. I've done enough trembling for the day with Brayford's grey shooter.
And if you think I begrudge you these, you're right. I've a good mind to make you pay for them. My poor Georgie. Hardly into his first pair of long trousers. And you two have to leave him to defend himself against a gang of armed bandits.
Just one respectable customer.
Flashing his warrant card.
It's a visiting card.
How do you expect my poor little Georgie to know the difference?
Well, look, he's not a bandit either.
The draft from that door will blow him over.
Anyway, the poor little mite's upsetting in bed. And if you want a bath when you get home, you'll be unlucky. Because I filled up that waterbed you brought in with nice, warm water.
I knew that waterbed was a mistake. You should see the electricity bills. Every night, 100-gallon hot water bottle.
I hope I'm not disturbing you.
No, Harry. I'm glad you called. And you're not disturbing me. We never sleep. Not like the gaming squad with its registered afternoon naps.
Crichton's best postgraduate assistant says he believes the briefcase contained a folder with the late professor's most recent research into the law of probabilities.
I shall treasure that pearl of information. I shall cherish this scientific aspect of our investigation during the long winter's nights when I'm wondering whether my wife's going to stop snoring or not.
You could try separate rooms.
Where would I put my feet?
Hello, Obelisk. How's your luck?
On its belly, Eddie, but not crawling. Yours?
Shit in here. Shit in there.
You could be going up in the world. Cranley sent me to offer you my job.
Why? Well, why are you getting the elbow? I've got judo, handy feet, 6 languages, good manners and all.
I wouldn't join the collecting side. Where I come from, knocks on the door in the night are too common to be popular.
Know it. Not my line either. Straight thumping's different. You get a reason. You know where you stand.
Or fall. I can always go back to it. By the way, Turtle, do your ears still flap in all the right directions?
Depends on a prevailing wind.
This one's worth 50,000.
Force 9. What for?
Cranley had a box hoisted in the safe deposit job. That's what he's prepared to pay for a folder in it. No questions, dead quiet.
Dead quiet?
Perhaps just dead. That's a chance you take with Cranley.
Jake's still with him.
Like lice in a Petrograd poorhouse. Message delivered.
What do you think we're going to do?
Be fortunate.
And you, Obelisk? Good luck, my son.
You better go and chance a rabbit with his Cranley geezer. Try and keep things normal. He wouldn't do to appear affluent.
I'll wear my war surplus jacket.
Yeah, and boots.
The lace-ups, like old times.
Yeah, but they... 50 grand for that folder and I can't even read it. And dead quiet. Then if you're dead, I suppose you would be quiet. Major's got a folder. We've got his box. Number 92. Now, high numbers are bricked up in the attic of Mrs. Thorpe's. The low numbers are welded into the safe in McCluskey scrapyard. The safe.
I'll go and find Herman the Torch to open it. He'd be glad of a job in the fresh air.
I know I would. There's no way to spend a weekend. In a basement of a bullion vault with a thermal lance and salami sandwiches.
Too salty.
His father was German. They're used to it. It's all go, Eddie. That and an annual general meeting tomorrow.
Thanks all the same, Mr. Cranley, but I'll stick to commission beltings. The collecting dodge is too regular. All streets. Like an insurance round. Besides, it can get a bit hysterical, and I don't like noise.
Who'd have thought it? Big Eddie Malone turned cream puff.
Any more of your mouth, Jake, and you'll be wearing it through the back of your neck.
So aren't you forgetting some of the rather hard gentlemen that I have downstairs?
If they were hard enough, you wouldn't be talking to me. Besides, I wouldn't have time to get up here. Go on. Press the buzzer. He'd take 5 seconds to break in half and you'd be next. Thanks for the offer.
One day, you'll be on a pavement, and I'll be on the bike, and we'll see who gets fractures.
Oh, don't be so childish, Jake. You started that jawbone. Eddie was polite enough. For him. If I could only get that bloody folder back.
No, it's just a routine trade inquiry. Thanks, bye. Portobello Percy gave me a patter act on hallmarks. He reckons his silver swag's worth 8 thou.
That means 10 easy. But why set the alarm and get up early to open the Major's box till? You'll have a key.
Yeah, and then he'd leave it in his other suit, and we'd look like incompetent Burks. It's business efficiency, Eddie.
Good morning, gentlemen.
In 10 seconds, it will be afternoon. Glass of sherry?
Thank you, I will.
You will? At least it's the same colour as Scotch. Just remember to use a glass with a leg on it.
This AGM's just a formality, really. To synchronise your trading with the most advantageous tax calendar.
Of course.
Excellent sherry.
My shipper supervises the pressing in person. Runs a dry cleaners as well.
With a discount on Thursdays for senior citizens.
Charming. These figures are excellent. Really excellent. I wish that all my clients showed trading results like these, particularly the street you bought in Birmingham.
No, it's only half a street.
He didn't want to show off.
And acceptance has come through in the overall improvement grant. It should have doubled in value. Now, the other ventures may seem slow, but I think that the thing is that once you...
Excuse me. Yes, yes. Yes, this is he. Yes, it's Turtle. No, Herbie, I wouldn't like it at all. Not being inundated with a mound of cabbages, leeks and potatoes. Yeah, I could see you feel like a soup pot. No, right. We'll be round. Bye. Herbie Cauliflowers.
Ah, that nice street market trader whose association you act for. I met him.
Yes, well, some of the blue and pink haircuts are out. They're studded and tipping stalls and barrows over.
Easy. Take a squad next Saturday and dust them off.
He's very house-proud. What squad?
Recruits.
Well, aren't they your, Jones operatives?
No, they're working down in Devon.
Dartmoor, to be precise.
Except Pick Arnold Jock. And he's on undercover assignment in Birmingham. We're just going to have to farm it out. What about the Stacey brothers?
They played a few knuckle night times.
Sweet name for a lullaby.
They'll listen to reason. For money. The big one still limps a bit, though.
I didn't kick him at Sandra's wedding.
He was using a cake stand.
I've always deferred to your judgment in matters of this kind, Mr. Malone.
I'll taxi over the line later and weigh it up. Me, the Stacey brothers, and Crowbar Ernest should do it.
What an eventful life you lead.
It's only flattening people.
It's adult education.
You got lucky, Harry.
In one way. The postman couldn't get it through the box, so I opened the door, and the dog tore out and bit him.
Well, either get a bigger letterbox or a smaller dog.
It'll still cost me a bottle of brandy and considerable grovelling.
Never mind, it could have been a final demand for the rates.
Yeah, there's that. So what have we got? A bundle of photocopies of cheques torn in half, then tapes they don't count. Names and addresses. And a description of Cranley's alleged, yes, before you say it, debt-collecting methods.
Harry, old son, we've also got a postmark which will take me to the client who extracted those cheques from Cranley's safe deposit box. I'll wager my wife's mother's presence on it, and that must be the most competent bet in town. And take you to firm evidence on extortion and intimidation charges.
Thank you, gentlemen, for a most successful meeting and for settling my firm's accounts so promptly. Perhaps we could lunch together as a sort of, well, celebration.
I eat breakfast late. Thanks all the same.
I'd be delighted.
Tomorrow, then?
Couldn't be better.
Institute of Directors, then. One-ish.
One-ish. Goodbye, Miss Goodlip.
She fancies you.
Somebody had to inherit the mantle of Clark Gable.
The ears are close.
Morning, Major. You're very prompt.
I was very anxious. Well, you two don't waste much time, do you?
We can't afford to. We're not nationalised. Now, the silver swag is all here. It was valued at 8 thou. But there've been a cuss for fences and smugglers and assorted hangers-on, so we made an offer on your behalf for 2 thou, and it was accepted.
And by me. I can do a deal with the insurance company.
Would you like to make it out to us?
He's thinking of Miss Goodliff. Invoices.
The other 2 items were intact, still sealed. You know, the ones you said weren't worth anything. Just out of curiosity.
My father's Victoria Cross and the love letters he wrote to my mother before he died. I'm very grateful.
Mr. Brayford,
Yes?
we're police officers. Can we come in?
Professor Crichton was an expert on the law of probabilities. And he's devised a perfect system for roulette. And no, I haven't copied it, but I was tempted. This system works best on a very high initial stake, and that's a bit beyond me. But if ever you form a syndicate and use this system, I'd like a share in it. 10,000 on the first spin, then double at the calculated sporadic intervals. Now, if this system works, and on Crichton's reputation it should, you'd need to go into a casino with 60,000 and be prepared to lose the first 30. I think this is a mathematical goldmine. If you picked your casinos, used different frontmen, and weren't greedy, this system could give you a very tidy living for the rest of your days. Now, I've tabulated counts and moves and intervals for you on index cards. You pass them to the front man one at a time so that he can't memorize the sequence.
Thank you, Major. We're very much obliged.
No, thank you. I am the one who owes.
Eddie?
Yes, sir.
We need an Arab.
Think of us as encyclopedia salesmen, Mr. Brayford. You've done nothing wrong. Nobody's going to use a rubber hose on you.
Out of date. Cooperation's best.
I've already provided that.
Oh, by sending the cheques. But not your address.
Public spirited, but we still had to find you. Now, I'm interested in where you got the cheques. Inspector Mason's about to fall like pyramid bricks on the collection methods. Are you prepared to identify faces?
The long and the short and the tall.
Particularly the short and the tall.
Yes, if I have to.
It's in a good and eccentric cause that used to be called justice. Right, we'll now embark on a guided tour. And petrol paid for by the long-suffering ratepayer. Be patient with the maunderings of JPs, whose experience of crime is forgetting to keep off the grass. And continue to wonder if the statue on top of the Old Bailey is a virgin.
Good morning.
You a real Arab?
Mohammed Rashid Yusuf Haji Ben Faisal. Friends call me Mo.
Saves time.
Yeah. Oh, and have you got the full drag, you know, the flowing robes, all that?
Oh, both the ordinary and ceremonial.
Ceremonial, I think. Yeah. Touch of pomp and circumstance never hurts. Can you gamble?
It's the diversion for which my father has temporarily disinherited me. Moreover, I was recommended by Harry the Wheel.
That's true.
I take it you have, like all other optimists before you, a system?
For roulette.
French or American?
Yes.
When?
Tonight.
Where?
Cranley's.
Good. I've lost money there in my time. It might even still be worth 100 or so to Harry the Wheel.
What for?
To make a telephone call to Cranley's announcing my arrival as easy pickings. My own terms are 5,000 for the evening, non-returnable, and 1,000 expenses.
What expenses?
Oh, for the agency, where I shall rent a bodyguard and the corruptible chauffeur who has access to the limousine with diplomatic plates. I hope you won't mind my saying so, but you two really don't know very much about gambling, do you? I'm also entitled to 10% of any winnings. See there about 9:30 then?
He's right, Turtle. We don't know much about flash gambling.
No. But we know somebody who does.
Jake? Get this round to Harry the Wheel, will you?
How's he earned it this time?
By passing on the glad tidings that an Arab gentleman, with oil gushing from his wallet, is going to be calling on us shortly. And that we should have enough cash in hand to wave around to cover the few thousand barrels that we are going to take from him.
Hello, Superintendent. Lovely to see you. You're looking a bit peaky, though. Working too hard. Not enough to eat.
My wife's mother's cooking covers the full range, from the inedible to the emetic.
I don't know how to cook those. I'll just get you a nice glass of tonic wine with a drop of brandy in it. They should be here any minute now. They're closing the office early today.
I hope the stock exchange doesn't panic. Don't tell me, Turtle, you've taken up male modelling.
I've been given lunch by my accountant at the Institute of Directors.
Could I have another brandy in this, please, Aunt Ethel, this time for justifiable shock?
What can we do for you, Superintendent?
Stay as sweet as you are. I've got an acquaintance of yours coming in to identify you.
Mr. Brayford, have you ever seen these two men before?
No, never.
Are you positive?
Isn't never positive enough.
All right, Harry. The noise you hear is either perjury or another hunch misfiring.
Ta-da.
Always knew that Superintendent had a suspicious mind.
I know your mum's got a good record for grievous bodily, Jason, but she'd have had her hands and feet full with this. 3 of them there was, all torn up. And I just sat there, a lit a fag, opened the desk drawer and pulled out this sawn off, like the one Al Capone used to favour. And I pointed it, and I said, If you want blown in half, Georgie Wagstaff's your boy to do it.
Of course, I'll supervise the operation. I'll be glad to. Timing and moves are the key. But I'd expect you to pay for it as part of a syndicate. And 10% of winnings is very generous as my share. I'd rather take less. We can discuss it later. But if our Arab friend is quoting 10 as the going rate for frontmen, he might get even greedier. You?
No. I'll be somewhere else.
And classically, I should stay put to check reaction.
I'll think of something.
I can't be in two places at once, Turtle.
No, I know, Eddie.
There could be a lot of heavy greenery.
I'll be all right.
Vente, voir, t'aide pas.
Tommy, we have one of our Middle East benefactors arriving shortly.
I know the drill, Mr. Cranley. Call him Your Highness as often as I can and keep bowing.
And keep me informed.
Of course.
Hey, for sure.
I reached our friend and ran him through the drill, but just stay close. I bought 2,000 in 20s in chips for us, to spread and keep the game going.
It's not like a wish drive, is it?
No.
Welcome, Your Highness. How very good to have you with us again.
Good to be here, Mr. Cranley. But there's no artillery. The heavies are just window dressing. One of my father's more old-fashioned ideas.
My subordinate, new to gaming club diplomacy. Please.
It's unlike his predecessor. I feel lucky at roulette tonight, Mr. Cranley. The zeros in play, I trust?
For you, Your Highness, of course.
And house limits?
The usual, the ceiling. Cash, of course.
Cash, as always. Both sides. Smith, we'll start small with 30,000. I think, Smith, I dislike being encumbered with tokens. Amazing how mineral water can look like champagne. Still good for the religious scruples, I suppose.
We try to observe the formalities.
Oh, sorry.
I'm forever blowing bubbles.
Evening. Evening. Silly bets where you like until I check the running sequence.
200? Hello, monsieur. Faites le jeu.
No, 500's better. Make it look as if we're going to take the laundry back with the big
Rien
one.
ne va plus. Les choses sont faites. Vente, voir, t'aide pas.
22 grand down, boss. For real, I mean.
Yes, I do know he's losing, Jake. Bother me when he moves from petty cash, will you?
Madame, monsieur, faites plaisir. Venta, droit, pair, pass.
Comes and goes, doesn't it?
The gaming squad sometimes gets paid for unsocial hours. Their wives spend it on coffee mornings.
Or in the boozer.
And poor John the Peeler gets dry bread for breakfast.
Don't blame it on me.
I was just trying to apologise for keeping you up so late.
Well, I know all about the decrepit dawns. And the dry bread.
$120 livres, monsieur.
He's 120 in front now, boss. I think he's working a system, like that professor fella.
I'm coming down.
Madame, monsieur, faites plaisir, s'il vous plaît.
Single zero.
How much?
The lot.
On the single zero, if you please. As agreed with Mr. Cranley.
As agreed.
Rien ne va plus. Le geste en fait. Zero.
Smith, cash me in. It's now time for my women.
Congratulations, Your Highness. Please allow the house one more spin to recoup.
Perhaps tomorrow. I'm also slightly overdue for my devotions.
Find out where he's going, Jake, and who goes with him. And if it's a hotel, if he uses the safe. Interesting game, didn't you think?
Not really.
My croupier thought you were almost directing it.
Oh, I really couldn't direct traffic.
Well, then what the hell was going on?
Army intelligence, oh boy. Well, we have to keep an eye on these Middle East chappies. You can see that, can't you? Good night.
The bodyguard in front is real.
He certainly looks it.
And there's a lot of money in this case. The driver in front speaks only Arabic and will do what I tell him to. So why don't you just get out now and we can avoid any unpleasantness?
You said 10%.
Oh, 100's always better.
Eddie called. Thought you might need a hand, Turtle.
Right, Obelisk. Why's everybody bigger than me?
You next.
It's only gambling money. Easy come, easy go.
In your case,
Easy go.
He only speaks Arabic. I want to go to Fulham.
I think he'll take us there. Though perhaps an heir's taxi rank would be better. Jake tends to follow big winners.
You're right, Obelisk. It's late at night for me to be thinking.
You called me mushy peas yesterday, Jake. I thought you'd like to find out if it was right.
No, Eddie. I'm working.
So am I. I can't afford to have drain pipes like you watering my reputation. Reach for that blade, Jake, and I'll really have to give you a C&T.
It was just talk, Eddie. For the boss. And himself.
So now you'll watch it. Or I'll put a trademark on it. Your bike's punctured. Hello, Superintendent.
Hello, Eddie. Small world.
That's the one.
Jake. Old son. Inspector Mason is about to approach. Lay his calloused hand on your delicate collar and make what is vulgarly known as a pinch.
I love bookish money.
You sure you can get out of the army and run it?
Oh, I'd be delighted. 5 casinos a year, a month to set up each, 2 or 3 good NCOs I know, basking in the sun in the meantime. Lucrative, honest business. It beats computing the average wear and tear on infantrymen's underwear.
Have a good live. Anthea?
I was just going to ring you to thank you for the roses. Oh, you shouldn't have. After all, you only had an omelette.
Do the Articles of Association of our company cover research into the laws of probability?
Well, you're already concerned with an agency for belly dancers. I don't see why not. But I'll draw up the documents for a subsidiary just to be on the safe side. Perhaps we could meet over a glass of wine to discuss it. Do you like Pouligny Montrachet? No. I think you're confusing it with Marie Chevalier. About 7, then.
Do you know that Maurice Chevalier had a wine named after him?
Once more with feeling, I will try once again. I will try to explain myself to you. I may be down, but you know I've been around. And every time I've seen those gray skies turn to blue. It's tough at the top, but rougher at the bottom, and positively boring in between. I don't lose my head, I just try to make some bread and get to places that I have never been. Eventually, some good luck will come along. Eventually, I'll get it right instead of wrong, because I know that one fine day Lady Luck will call and say, Mr. Muggins, Mr. Muggins, Mr. Muggins.